Hello buddy, it's Warden here with another bit of Total War Warhammer 2 Quake Match gameplay. The Warden and the Paunch DLC, as well as the WA patch, have just dropped. And of course, with it, a significant rework to the High Elves as well as Greenskins has taken place. And of course, alongside that, a whole bunch of other balance tweaks have taken place for other factions. In this matchup, we are going to be playing as the High Elves, scoring off against the Greenskins on the map Mosquito Swamps. And this is a matchup you're probably going to be seeing a good amount now, because just about everybody really wants to test out all the new toys and all the new strategies you can really run with these factions now that they've had all these great new additions. And for this matchup, I really want to highlight one particular lord, and that is Eltharion the Grim. Now, this poor guy, obviously, despite being one of the faces of the new DLC, has already been kind of chalked up as underpowered or lacking. And unfortunately, he's definitely a bit of on the pricier end, and perhaps he's not quite up to snuff with some of the new overtuned shenanigans, especially like in Teclis and Imric. However, I do think Eltharion still has his place, and while perhaps requiring some slight tweaks, I do think he certainly has some usefulness and utility that other lords simply do not have. And it really boils down to one item, and that is the Helm of Ivres. Just look at this beauty. While it is active, and it lasts for 17 seconds, entities in a unit cannot die, and the unit becomes unbreakable. This is, in my opinion, an incredibly useful item. One of the biggest problems for High Elves is that units like Phoenix Guard, units like Swordmasters, units like Dragon Princes, and especially the Fireborn, will oftentimes get melted by spells, will get melted by artillery, they lose models, and then you are not able to heal that back up and retain your martial prowess or mastery. This offsets that. You are able to keep your units alive. Now, granted, it does have a 2-minute cooldown, but you can keep models alive through critical points in an engagement or through critical enemy spellcasts, perhaps final transmutations or abilities like that, and thus preserve your martial mastery or martial prowess because you can then heal that back. Now, this is why we're bringing Eltharion here. This is what we're going to be trying to pull off here, getting use out of the Helm of Ivres. I do think his other items just don't synergize that well. The Mistwalker Barrage, very difficult to charge up and time correctly when you're trying to boom and zoom with the Griffin. And while his Fang Sword is cool and all, it definitely gives you a nifty physical resist. I simply feel it's too expensive when really I'm going to be playing a bit of an opportunistic playstyle. Besides that, we are taking advantage of our Lore of High Magic to get some very cheap buffs. We were getting the Apotheosis for the heals, as well as Hand of Glory to soup up our troops, and simultaneously drop Shields of Sapphire on our entire battle line. Now, there's going to be some action going on right away because, well, my opponent has gone with a very aggressive and pretty light on the infantry greenskin build. But for my force, the rest of it, it's a bit of a balanced lineup. We do have some Illyrian Reavers here in the front, flanking the Heralds of the Wind. These guys are now all cheaper. Heralds of the Wind by 100, normal Reavers by 50. So, you know, that's been quite a bit of a buff for these guys. Heralds of the Wind also got better melee defense now, in line with normal Illyrian Reaver, the melee variant. And so they're here to counteract the Greenskin skirmishing. Behind that, we do have 2 spearmen flanking 2 of the newly buffed white lions, just there as a decent front line to hold against mid and mid and lower tier Greenskin troops. Obviously, you're not going to be crumping Black Orcs with these guys, but everything else you can trade well into. On the flanks, 2 packs of Illyrian Reaver plus War Lions of Krace units. And these two make for an excellent kill team. This is really a combo I think has been a bit overlooked with the patch, but these 2 units together cost about 1,400 gold, and you get a really, really powerful combo. You're capable of covering a lot more space because they are separated into 2 units. You get a lot of AP damage from the White Lions, and simultaneously you get sort of the screening and the mass and bodies from the Illyrian Reavers. So I really do like this combo. It can really counteract a lot of soft troops, enemy cavalry, pin down enemy flyers, that sort of thing. And we do have 2 units of them, one of them including the Rahagar's Pride here. And finally the Fireborn, because what would be the point of Eltharion if we're not going to take advantage of that helm? Now, for the Greenskins here, they've gone with a very skirmish-heavy build. 2 Forest Goblin Spite Riders, no doubt taking advantage of the fact that you can no longer apply poison to your friendly units. Vanguarded forward here, and immediately taking pot shots at our infantry and cavalry. For the main line, for the Greenskins, there isn't much of it. The Warlord's Boys and the AP Cloonies are it. They are protecting the front line here, screening out some missiles for this mob of archers, cavalry, and other beasties in the back line. For his lord, my opponent has brought Grimgor, and This guy obviously has had quite the buffage here and is a much more terrifying sight, though I don't think he's ideal against high elves. Of course, Gitsnake is same as always, but Bloodforged armor allows him to plow through combat rather quickly. The Your Next can really debuff an enemy lord or hero, make them much easier to beat down, and something Eltharion has to really watch out for so he doesn't get sniped. Get back here, of course, lets Grimgor keep his boys in the fight, and best of the best makes him very difficult to snipe out. Besides that, we do have a Giant River Troll Hag. She's simply got Spirit Leech, and that is one thing that the Helm of Ivres can counter very nicely, especially if she tries to Spirit Leech my Fireborn. She also does have Mither for the Snare, Life Leeching for the Wind's Magic, and of course we'll be bringing that Overwhelming Odor into the fight to weaken my troops. Goblin Big Boss, of course, is now also a bit of a staple, coming in with this very annoying They Need Stabbing, and perhaps hoping to help snare and murderize poor Eltharion. Besides that, some Orc Board by Big Guns provide an anti-large contingent, and a horde of Goblin Archers make up the backline. A mix of Night Goblin Archers as well as normal Goblin Archers. Interesting choice against High Elves, and we are going to see how they perform at gunning me down. Now, unfortunately for my opponent, he did underestimate my resolve to catch and murderize these Force Goblin Spider Riders here, and they do get caught by the very angry pack of Valyrian Reavers, backed by the Rahagra's Pride, and they just overwhelm and crush these spiders very quickly. Now, he does countercharge here with the Orc Board by Big Guns, but before they can get too much of a connection, they do get a little bit of it, we do manage to pull back most of our troops, and Eltharion does dive in, smashing into their flank, and applying that beautiful, beautiful charge bonus, smashing a poor Big Gun off his mount there, and really starting to take some nasty bites out of these boar boys. In the meantime, the Rahagra's Pride and the Illyrian Reavers do countercharge, taking advantage of that combo of AP and high mass, really overwhelming these orcs, and they're not able to extricate themselves before Terror kicks in, and they are overwhelmed. In the meantime, my opponent is still kind of getting zoned out here. My spears, my white lions are bogging these guys down. The Snotlink pump wagons with flappas plow through the white lines, taking advantage of that pump harder ability to move through very quickly. But as amazing as this beautiful animation might be, they are now going to get a little bit caught up, and yeah, not going to be in an ideal spot. The white lions, if they catch them, are going to tear these guys to shreds, and you can see they're going down very quickly now, even though they are hippity-hoppitying around quite nimbly. And Illyrian Reavers are going to collapse to really seal the deal and dish out the hurt to them. Over here in the meantime, we can see the Illyrian Reavers fighting alongside the Fireborn, Hand of Glory going down on the Fireborn to help eradicate the Warlord's boys. And although my opponent does drop a They Need Stab It on Eltharion, trying to kill him off here with the Giant River Troll Hag and the Big Boss, with Grimgor coming in there and a Spirit Leech and Mither and all that, snaring the noble High Elf warrior, we are able to simply hold our ground. Now, in the meantime, our mob of light cavalry is capable of overrunning the backline. This is one of the beautiful things about combining something like the White Lions with Illyrian Reavers. You get two units, and they perform the function of, say, a elite tier cav like Dragon Princes, but simultaneously they can cover more ground. And so now we are able to sort of split up, cover the skirmish cav, cover the archers, spears pushing forward. And although over here Grimgor does take some big old chunks out of poor Eltharion, we were able to use our Helm of Ivres to prevent our Fireborn from taking too much casualties. They only lost one model in that fight, and that's largely thanks to the Helm of Ivres. And now, before my opponent can do all that much, we do clean up. We can see over here the Helm of Ivres going down to protect them from the Orc Board by Big Guns. So while they do take some nasty damage here, losing about a quarter of their HP immediately, they are unkillable. And Hand of Glory there is going to protect them a bit. In dives Eltharion, routs the Boar Boys, and we wiped that entire unit, having not lost a single model. So that is some really impressive stuff. Normally you would lose, you know, a dozen or so models. Now, the Helm of Ivres has now expired. We do lose about 4 models to Grimgor, who's coming back with a vengeance. But now it's too late. And we can still heal back up over the threshold if we need to get martial prowess. Over here, in the meantime, the Illyrian Reavers are running shop on the backline. The pump wagons with the flappas getting overwhelmed. And although they are certainly hopping around, trying to do their best, they're really not going to stand up against this High Elf light cav. Simultaneously, more of our light cav here in the back line, trying to zone off these Spider Riders. And obviously, we might not win this fight, but as long as we can just screen them out, that's all that really matters. Unfortunately, the Reavers not shooting because I forgot to take them on back, put them back on fire at will, but oh well, what can you do? It's not the end of the world now. Over here, Grimgor does try to snare Eltharion with the help of Mither there, but it's too little too late. Eltharion takes to the skies, is able to get back on the Giant River Troll Hag, who didn't screen away. She is in for a world of hurt. The Illyrian Reavers are in there. They're going to start pounding away. Eltharion is coming in. He's slowed. He's floating down very gracefully there and crashing into that hideous, bloated monstrosity. She doesn't last at all at this point. Bounce power shifts decisively. Grimgor ignored this entire game. Routes. My opponent is forced to concede the field. Now, I do think this match highlighted the strength of Helm of Ivres. My opponent did manage to get a glorious charge in with the Board by Big Guns. The Fireborn were not able to really countercharge very effectively there. They were bogged down on Grimgor and the Hero Squad already. And yet, because of Eltharion, we were able to just tank that damage. Model stayed intact, which means we were hitting back just as hard as he normally would be. And simultaneously, in the long run, I could heal these guys back up with Apotheosis, recover that HP, and keep them with Martial Mastery active. A massive boon. Really something that helps, I think, and that makes Eltharion have his niche, is what I should say. For the rest of the build, it was a bit of a fun one. I really do like this Wombo combo of Reavers and Warlines. It gives you immense coverage and can really counteract a lot of more expensive enemy cav. If you need to deal with sort of mid-tier troops like Reichsguard or if you're mirror matching Silver Helms or Cold One Spear Riders or Cold One Knights, units like that, this combo can actually do rather well. The Illyrian Reave Archers give you some good counter skirmish, which you always want against Greenskins. And this sort of front line, while certainly not the most amazing thing ever, can hold against cheaper Greenskin troops. And in this situation, they held up just fine against the Flappas and the Goblins, which is all that my opponent brought. Now, is Eltharion underpowered? I do think he's probably a little bit overpriced. I do think his abilities don't necessarily, his other abilities besides the Helm, don't necessarily synergize as well with Eltharion as one would hope. The Mistwalker Barrage just doesn't work well with a Lord that's constantly diving in and out of combat. And while the Fang Sword is nice, it is just a very pricey item. And ultimately, you're probably going to cut it on Eltharion because you're trying to cut the costs. So I do think Eltharion could do with a little bit of a price cut, probably about 100 gold, maybe even 200. But I don't think he's a sort of hopeless case beyond redemption. I do think he's very much got his niche that he can fulfill. I think the Helm of Rest, it would be cooler if it had a slightly shorter cooldown. Just because then you could use it more often and you could actually take advantage of it more in more engagements. But I still do think it's a potent ability. Now for my opponent here, obviously experimenting with the new units, the Goblin Flappa, the Snotling Pumpwagon Flappas, the upgraded Boar Boys, Grimgor, of course, the Big Boss, the Troll Hag, all new and improved units. Of course, now the poison doesn't apply, so all new and improved units, essentially. And I don't think Grimgor is great against High Elves. I think he's still too easy to kind of snipe out at range and ignore. High Elves will usually meet you in a very mobile manner, and so you often will not get the chance to fight. But the Big Boss and the Troll Hag are definitely nasty, though I do think the Troll Hag's a major risk. High Elves now have a lot of fire damage, and she could get eradicated quickly. In this situation, the Fireborn tore her to shreds very quickly, and if you're facing someone like Imric or Teclis, you're in for a world of hurt, I think. I also do think this match highlighted the weaknesses of the pump wagons. Certainly they're cheap and very potentially powerful AP chariot. The pump wagons with the Flappas are very mobile. They're very difficult to stop on that charge. They get a huge burst of mobility with pump harder. But at the same time, they are a very flimsy unit. They get surrounded by skirmish cav, they die. They get surrounded by infantry, they die. They cannot fight their way out of a wet paper bag, and I think that is a major balancing factor for this unit. And this match kind of demonstrated how they can't necessarily hold up in those sorts of engagements. But regardless, well played to Winky Pinky here. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you found it entertaining, and hopefully gives you some ideas on the uses for Eltharion, and perhaps some of the other units like Rohagger's Pride or the Warlines. But do hope you guys enjoyed. I will certainly be putting up more content in the near future. So hit that like and subscribe button if you'd like to see more. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.